All right, good afternoon, everybody. Tom will be starting here in just a minute. Verify for me that you can see my screen, and then we'll turn it over to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Okay, good. The screen's good to go. Right to you, Tom.
All right, thank you. And folks, what a first I keep thinking first day, but I was thinking I don't remember us ever having 3 weeks in a row that we had a holiday or a day that the markets were shut down without 5 days of trading. And so far, we've done that, and I think next week will be the first 5 days that we can have. I thought today's action in the market after the unemployment report was pretty severe in the fact that we came down and took out the yearly low, and we took out on several stocks. Like, for example, the Tesla did. It came down, I think, 377, where it went to 373 on that Monday. But some of these other stocks did, and they've been pretty weak if you look at it. The only positive I'd say is gold and silver, which has been very strong, since the holiday we had. And if you're in our futures program, you got the message uh, yesterday when all the markets were closed. But it's been pretty interesting to watch this, and I'm starting to think that the market is very, very uh, back and forth here, and you can't. I think you could just go ahead if we're just going to have to trade in a short-term basis because until this trend straightens out, because this is eat you alive the way they get the rallies going, and then they get it get it switched. But anyway, let me get through the slides. Take it away, Jonathan. Risk involved in trading, past performance is not indicative of future results. In my opinion, the market has not resolved itself, meaning there's no trend in here. You've got a wide range from a high of 60, 68, and now to today's low, which was down at, let me give it to you here, 58.45. Jonathan, verify, was the low coming in 57.84? Because that makes a big difference on the mini. What was the low?
Yeah, and we're about to go to that spreadsheet. The low was 58.74. The five.
58.74. So we did make a new low on E-mini.
Yeah, and I got it laid out pretty nicely on the spreadsheet that we'll look at. It's all color coded and
Let's go there.
now what you're looking at is November 5 open, the yearly open, the first 3 days high and low, the first 5 days high and low. Now I've got today's high and low. I took this about a half hour or so ago. And basically, if the cell is green, it's made a new high today above the 5-day high. If the cell is red, it's made a new low today below the 5-day low.
Oh, you got to print this one off for me. You've done some good work here.
What I'm going to add at the close is a closing price, and it will be color coded if it closes above or below the 5-day range.
So the indexes have all made lows. If you look at the E-mini, NASDAQ, Dow, and Russell, crude oil's made a high, gold's made a high, silver's made a high, bonds made a low. Okay. Bitcoin made a low today, right? Is that what it's saying?
Yes, Bitcoin made a new low underneath the 5-day range.
Tesla didn't. I noticed that Tesla didn't. I had some Tesla. Um, NIM made a new high. WPM made a new high. Palantir made a new low. TQQ made a new low. And SQQ made a new high. Very interesting. Does everybody see what he's done? This is a very helpful sheet. If you're looking at it at a glance, it really separates the different market. Looks like the big cap, Amazon made one. CDE made a nice high. KGC made a high. Oh, this is good, Jonathan. This is real good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all the tickers that we looked at, right?
That's it. We can add more if needed.
Yeah, we will. We will add more as we go through it, but this sort of gives an outline. It leads me in my next topic. Okay, keep going. All right, I asked Jonathan, I said, draw a first 5 days high and low. And if you look there at the QQQ, it's 505, right, Jonathan? 5 day low. And today we went down to 392, but we're currently at 508. So it snapped back inside that range. Okay. Keep your eye on this. Keep your eye on this. I think this will help you. Keep going. Now, this morning, who's in talk and trade? Who's in talk and trade? If you look, I said AMD is short below 122.50. Palantir is short below 70.55. I put that in talk and trade. Does this help you each morning if I give you where you need to be thinking about going long or short these stocks, the Magic Five? Tell me if this is really helpful because I did both. I was short both Palantir and AMD off this work I did this morning. I'm still short AMD. I took my profit on Palantir. All right, well, I'll do this in the morning, okay? I'll do that in the morning. Look what happened. Jonathan, take us back, if you will. And you can see, if you had took this morning, you got short AMD, you were below the 122 I gave you, and down we came to 114. That's big money. That's a big value add, okay? That's on AMD. All right. And there's Palantir. Palantir came down to 65, bounced, and now Palantir's turned back negative here at the end of the day. Probably it's going to go down and hit that 65, it looks like. Okay. That's Palantir. All right. I wanted to show that to people. You think you can make money with that every day if you're in there? Tell me if you're in TNT, you want me to continue that. I think the market that we have, the best way I can help in the short term until this trend either decides it wants to be a bear or bull, I think to do this in the morning for you. Now, today is Friday. We've got some videos in there if you join Palantir. What do you got here, Jonathan? Next. The TNT is telling a little bit about it. Yeah. It's a channel we set up for these type markets, okay? Called TNT. Talk and Trade. That's what I put out this morning. Here's some yeah, keep going up. Did you show him my pivot number today? 60, 50, what was it? 59, 55 today was my pivot number.
That's right, 55.
Yeah, and you can see when the market opened today, what you were looking at with that pivot number, okay? So far, this stat is not in play yet because we're sort of in between on a closing basis. Okay? We do the education and analysis all day to keep you current with what's happening. That's RB4. And if you go check NVIDIA out right now, it's at 135. You ought to be short NVIDIA right now. If AMD breaks, what's that number? 1586, you can get back in there. That's how you use that chart there. That's that. We do that every reference bar throughout the day, 3 and 4. All right. Yeah, I'll find something that we sink our teeth into every morning. I post my morning, it's like a morning call I put in there. Okay, keep going. Got a lot of tape. Jonathan, do you know how many tape we got in training on TNT right now? I'm just curious, just broad-based speaking.
Easily a half dozen, if not a full dozen, on the resources page.
It's on the resources page. You got some of the titles handy, you can read it.
One of them, how to trade the meat on micro E-minis, how to handle reference bars.
Okay.
I can name those two since they're on the slide down, but besides that, I have to go check out the resources page. Don't remember.
Crude. I know we got one on crude.
Yep, got one on crude. That's right.
USO. Yep. Okay. Got a lot of good stuff there. Here's how we post trades in there during the day. Okay. That's how you post trades in there. I like the simple way you do that. Okay. Give you a target. This is something we put out and we'll put out next week is our option blueprint. After Wednesday, be looking for that in TNT. We're going to make it a separate service, but I decided just to include it, okay? And then, of course, the bonus audio updates I post when things are hot and heavy. AMD's fallen. That's a trade we made on an earnings early in the morning before most people got to the cash market, okay? That's our accuracy rate right there. Pretty active opportunities, 11,000 in profits. How much money are we putting up to make that, Jonathan? How'd you figure that? I'm just curious. 1,000 total?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. That's 100%, not bad. If you got one of my telegrams, you can be in there, study it over the weekend, be ready to go. We came up with this pricing model. Okay, let's go to it real quick where they can see it. You can pay $200 a month. It's auto renewed. That's a simple way. If you want to have 4 months, you get a big discount, $479. And if you want a lifetime subscription, it's $4,400. But the pricing model is set up depending on the way you want to approach it. But you sure ought to try the $200 a month if nothing else. $479 is a better deal. Extreme discount there. All right, let me open it up for questions and we'll wrap it up. I was just glancing around. It looked like. All right. So here's one. Do you think Trump's conviction will affect anything long term? No, I don't. I don't think that. I know, Steve. I'm not going to put out any trade. I want to have a full week of trading before we get slicing and dicing. Okay. The volatility is just too extreme right now. It's better for us to wait and be patient. There's plenty of time. I'll trade enough when they're paying. Right now they're taking. If we were open tomorrow, I would call a futures first meeting. Speaking of that, Jonathan, make sure Monday at 7 o'clock we have a futures first education Monday. Okay.
Is that Monday night or Monday morning?
Let's do it Monday night.
Okay, 7 o'clock.
Yep. Folks, next week will be a first full week. It's going to be interesting to see which way this thing dances. Be very careful. And if you look at the bond market today hit a new low. And I'm talking about the 30-year bond. It went down to 110. Jonathan posted that. Jonathan, that spreadsheet, will you do me a favor? Make sure you print that off for me because that thing is outstanding.
Yeah, sure will. Like when the market closes, I'm gonna update it and then I'll get it printed for you.
Yeah, my Moonlight Trader, be patient. What I'm waiting for is a trend that we can take advantage of. Right now, you've had a big disruption with partial holidays each week for 3 weeks. And you've got a market right now. There's a transitioning going on from the big boys to other stars in the galaxy, so to speak. Let me figure that out, then we'll go at it. I'd rather be very careful right now. I'd rather, and the Fed, let me tell you, let's talk about that real quick. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that the Fed was going to cut interest rates 7 times before the election? After the election, they changed their profile, and now they're not talking about cutting interest rates at all. You know, I don't know a lot, but I know a snake when I see one, and that's that Jerome Powell. He's a snake. That's my opinion. Yeah, everybody makes mistakes, Alan. That was a bad one. Yep. So Monday morning, if you're in TNT, I'll post the trigger prices for the Magic 5. Thanks, Dave. That's nice to say. All right, y'all have a good day. Have a nice weekend. Thanks, Jonathan. I'll be Sunday night at 8 o'clock after I see this. Jonathan just made my weekend research a lot easier with that sheet you made. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I got it printed at the close.